Hello, and welcome to my quiz on Bhutan and Nepal. Bhutan is a tiny, landlocked, dragon shaped country sandwiched between China and India. It has a land area of just under 40,000 square kilometres and a population just under 730,000. The subalpine Himalayan mountains in the north rise from the country's lush subtropical plains in the south. In the Bhutanese Himalayas, there are peaks higher than 7,000 metres, including Gangkhar Puensum, which is the highest unclimbed mountain in the world. Climbing it is forbidden after a few failed attempts. So, Bhutan is renowned for prioritising the well-being and happiness of its citizens over economic measures. You've probably heard of gross domestic product before, which is the standard measure of the value added created through the production of goods and services in a country. However, you probably haven't heard of gross national happiness, which is unique to Bhutan. In which decade did the Bhutanese introduce gross national happiness? 1960s, 70s, or 80s? And question 2, there are no traffic lights anywhere in Bhutan. However, at the busiest intersection in the capital city, there is a stand for traffic police to direct traffic, and they do a pretty great job. Apparently, the government attempted to put a traffic light in this spot there. The Bhutanese just simply wouldn't have it and preferred the traffic police. What is the capital city's name? Thimphu, Jakarta, or Thimphu? And question 3. One of Bhutan's most iconic landmarks is the Taksang Palfu Monastery, perched on a cliff at an elevation of over 3,000 metres. Excuse me. That was a real life cough, that. This sacred site is associated with Guru Rinpoche, who is said to have meditated here. What is this monastery popularly known as? The Eagle's Nest, Leopard's Nest, or Tiger's Nest? Excuse me, I'll try and die quietly. Question 4. Bhutan issued the first three-dimensional stamps ever with a space exploration theme. A laminated, prismatic, ribbed plastic surface was used to print the spacemen and the spacecraft, giving them a three-dimensional appearance. Thousands of sets of 3D stamps were sold after they ignited a philatelic craze. In which year were they produced? 1957, 67, or 77? Right, question 5. Bhutan stands as the sole nation that absorbs more carbon dioxide than it emits. Bhutan's constitution mandates that a minimum of 60% of its land must be forest covered, and the kingdom is able to absorb more carbon dioxide than it produces. How much of the country is currently covered by forest? 60%, 70%, or 80%? Now, on to Nepal. Nepal is a landlocked country, mainly situated in the Himalayas. It borders the Tibet Autonomous Region of China to the north and is otherwise surrounded by India. It has a population of a little over 31 million. Nepal has a diverse geography, including fertile plains, subalpine forested hills, and 8 of the world's 10 tallest mountains, including Mount Everest, the highest point on Earth. The Nepali flag is unique in that it's not rectangular. It features 2 stacked triangles. The shape of Nepal's flag with 2 triangles symbolises the Himalayas, which are central to the country's identity. The upper triangle represents the moon, and the lower triangle represents the sun. In which year was it adopted? A. 1962, 1972, or 1982? And question 7. We all know that Mount Everest, Chomolungma, is in Nepal at nearly 8,850 metres above sea level. But did you know it also has the world's deepest gorge, the Kali Kandaki Gorge, with a depth of approximately how many metres? 800, 1200, or 1600? Question 8. Nepal makes good use of its mountainous terrain by generating hydroelectric power. How much of its energy needs are met by this form of power? 72.1%, 82.1%, or 92.1%? And question 9. Nepal ranks number 3 in the world in terms of biggest producers of ginger. They are also a big producer of mustard seeds. Where does it rank in terms of mustard production in world rankings? Is it first, second, or third? I think that's mustard seed production. Okay, and question 10. Nepal has the densest concentration of World Heritage Sites. Here are just a few. Which one of these is in Kathmandu Valley? So is it A, B, or C? And let's have some answers. So starting with Bhutan. When did they introduce gross national happiness? In which decade? It was, of course, the 1970s. It was conceptualized by the fourth king of Bhutan, Jigme Singye Wangchuk, in 1972, and is declared as more important than gross domestic product, and quite right too. No traffic lights, not even in the capital city. But what is that capital city's name? And it is, of course, C, Thimphu. And question 3. One of Bhutan's most iconic landmarks, Sang Palphok Monastery. What is it popularly known as? It is, of course, C, the Tiger's Nest. And question 4. In which year were these interesting three-dimensional stamps produced? It was B, 1967. Bhutan continued to innovate with stamps, producing the world's first musical stamps, a tiny vinyl record, also CD-ROM stamps, and non-fungible token stamps. Bhutan stands as the sole nation that absorbs more carbon dioxide than it emits. How much? That's because most of it's covered by forest. So, excuse me. How much of the country is covered by forest? It is 70%. Actually, a little over 70%. And on to Nepal now. Nepali flag, two snatched triangles. When was it adopted? A, 1962. I thought it was much later, but there you go. Question 7. How deep is the Kali Kandaki Gorge? And it is B, 1,200 metres. Nepal make good use of the mountainous terrain. How much of their energy needs are met by hydroelectric power? And it is C, 92.1%. And question 9. Where does Nepal rank in terms of mustard production in the world? And the answer is first. Last but not least, Nepal has the densest concentration of World Heritage Sites. Here are just a few. Which one of these is in the Kathmandu Valley? And the answer is this one, which is B. So there you go. And thanks for listening to my quiz.